$180,000 in rent payments. In this video, I'm going to break down rental payments over the course of 1 year and 10 years and explain some of the opportunities that are lost for that long period of time. The average person says, hey, I pay $1,500 a month in rent. I'm comfortable with that. If I got a mortgage, the mortgage would be higher than that. Interest rates are high. Housing prices are high. I'm okay with $1,500 a month. And that's great. There is a season in which people may need to rent. However, let's look at the long-term effect on a long-term period of time that people pay when they pay rent. So example, $1,500 a month over the course of 5 years, that's $90,000 that has been paid out in rent. Some people stay in rentals for longer than that. They stay in there for 10 years. If you stay in a rental for 10 years, you've paid $180,000 in rent. Yes, you're going to say, hey, Kevin, I needed somewhere to live and the rent was less expensive than obtaining a mortgage. But how do you really know? Like, how do you really know? Yes, the numbers side by side for what you're renting and what you could be buying a house for. Mortgage payment could be higher. However, that doesn't mean that it costs less to rent because the rental payment is less. So let's look at the opportunities that are missed. People say, hey, interest rates are expensive. They're high. They're 6, 7, 8%. I don't want to pay that. I want my interest rate to be lower. Do you understand that if you pay $1,500 a month in rent, your interest rate is $1,500. So why do you say that? Because when you purchase a home, you have the ability, as of the tax laws right now, the way the tax laws are currently written, you can write off the interest from your primary residence over the course of the year. So majority of your mortgage payment goes towards interest for about the first 10 to 12 years, and it starts to even out around the 12th year. About halfway through year 15, it starts to exceed where the principal payment is more than the interest. So if you're saying, hey, I'm paying more money, I am not a tax professional. However, you have the ability to write off that interest as well as some of the property taxes that you pay on your home. That's an opportunity lost. $180,000 is a starter home somewhere, right? Any town, USA, it could be a starter home. Yes, it may be 2 bedrooms, 2 bath. It may be a townhouse. It may be a condominium. However, it is a home somewhere in the United States that you can purchase for $180,000. Mind you, all of that rent payment that you're paying, the $1,500 a month, is going towards paying the landlord's mortgage. The landlord gets the benefits of the taxes, and you get to pay their mortgage and help them become investors. I'm not going to say you're making them rich, because you aren't making them rich with one rental at $1,500 a month, even if they don't have a mortgage on the property. However, that $18,000 over the course of a year is not providing you any type of ownership. If you paid that $1,500 a month towards a mortgage, that would allow you to gain some ownership and equity in a property, and you're already paying $1,500 a month as it is. So let's kind of put this in another perspective. At $1,500 a month, that's probably a $225,000 home, principal and interest. The mortgage payment is probably going to be more than $1,500 a month, because you have taxes, insurance, and mortgage insurance. Those are going to vary depending on which part of the United States you're in and what you have to pay, whether you're in city limits or city and county limits. That is going to change. However, the principal and interest, which is what goes towards your mortgage and goes to the bank or mortgage servicer, is probably going to be around $1,500 a month, give or take. Now, over the course of time, let's not even talk about, these super inflated pricing that went up during the COVID period of time, or back in 2004 through 6, where, you know, housing prices continue to increase. Let's look at over time. The annual house gets appreciation between 3 and 4%. So over the course of time, you're paying down on the property, which is giving you equity, and you're getting appreciation because of the houses around it selling, the market continuing to grow, and at a basic pace is 3 to 4% a year. So you're losing out on $18,000. You're losing out on $18,000 a year that you're paying towards rent. Some people use their equity to pull out and do renovations to their home so they can stay in it longer. Some people use the equity in the property to buy another property, investment property, or to buy another primary property and make that home that they're living in an investment property. So let me kind of give you some context of the $200,000 house. So with the appreciation of 3 to 4% over the course of, let's say, 10 years, that house that you purchased for $200,000 could potentially be worth $260,000 to $275,000. That's with a basic 3 to 4% annual increase in the value of the home. Let's say your mortgage didn't go down. That gives you $60,000 to $75,000 in equity that you've gained in your home over the course of 10 years versus paying out $180,000 where you got, I'm not saying you didn't get anything, but you had a place to stay, but you didn't gain any ownership. And on that same $200,000 house, the owner gained that $60,000 to $75,000 equity in their home. So that kind of puts it in perspective. So Kevin, what can I do? I don't want my mortgage over $1,500 a month. What I would do is sit down and see, okay, at $1,500 a month, what could my mortgage payment be? Well, how do I find that out? You can go to a mortgage lender and find out, hey, if I qualify for, what do I qualify for? How much home can I qualify for if I have a $1,500 a month house payment? You take that and then you get with a real estate agent and you ask the realtor, hey, I'm approved for, let's say, $200,000. What type of homes can I qualify for? And take a look at it. It may not be the the home that you want to be in right away. However, it's a start. It's not a McMansion. And saying, hey, I don't want to live next to somebody, or this house is too small, and giving all the negative connotations about the house when in fact you're renting, living next to someone in an apartment or a condo, or living in a house that you really don't like to rent, when you could suck it up, buttercup, and do the same thing and live in a townhouse or purchase a condo or buy a starter home to live in and get appreciation and grow from there. Hopefully this was helpful. I wanted to make sure people had an understanding of how much they pay over time. The average person doesn't really look at it. But what I want you to do is I want you to take what you currently pay in rent, times that by 12 months for the year, and then I also want you to take that and times that by 5 years, and then times it by, multiply that by 10 years and see how much rent you're currently paying. Also, another thing, I want you to think about how long you've been renting where you're at, how much your rent was when you started, how much it has increased to now, and add that up over the years that you've been there, and then see how much you've paid over the course of the time you were there. Hopefully this video has been helpful. I wanted to dive in, get you to think a different way about renting and home ownership. Renting has its place. Yes, houses are fairly expensive. They're coming down in prices. Yes, interest rates are higher, but just remember, if your rent is $1,500 a month, you're paying 1,500% in rent. 1,500% interest. And if you buy a house now, you're looking at 6 or 7%. Hope this video was helpful. I'm Kevin Jefferson, the People's Lender. Thank you and have a great day.